Alright, I'm pretty excited. This showed up in the mail today. Looks to be my Timbren axleless suspension. I'm hoping everything arrived good. Stuff's a little on the heavier side, so sometimes shipping can damage things, but hopefully there's no damage and all the parts are there. So I'm gonna just get to it and cut this stuff open and see all what I got here. I didn't get the hubs or brakes with this order, as I got those elsewhere, but I already have the brake drums and backing plate. So but let's see what this axleless suspension looks like. Alright, I got everything laid out here. Looks like I actually got all the hardware, which is nice. Nothing's missing. So on the spindles, I went with the 4-inch lift. You can see right here. I think on the standard ones, this mounting surface would be more up here. This should give it a lift. And I got both swing arms here, the left hand there, right hand here. One thing I did notice that really nobody ever talks about in all the videos I've watched is I didn't know these were greasable. So there is a grease cert down in there, and there is a sticker here on the side that talks about grease frequently. So something to keep in mind. Shouldn't be an issue. So the hardware that comes with it, now that's only to attach the spindles to the swing arms. To attach it to the trailer, you do have to buy that separately, which I have. But now I'm excited to get going on this and get these installed. So they'll go back here. I just got to do some measuring, figure out, and then I can figure out cross members. You got the 3 main frame mount points here on the side, and then you also have these 3 here. So I'm going to actually use all 6 mounting points. So what I'll do is I'll put a cross member in front and back, and then I'll put a plate in between those 2 so it can bolt in really secure and the frame's really strong right there. One thing I did get done is I did weld the tongue in, and I did make a slight error. So when I notched this out and I went to weld it up, I think what happens, I either put too much heat, or as these welds cooled and shrunk, it created a slight bow in this front frame, which not a big deal. I know of a way to fix it. This involves some heat and welding, but I should be able to straighten that back out. But to give you an idea, there's a piece of square stock, 1 inch, that you can see the gap there. Really hard to see on camera, but right here at the center of the hitch, it's about a 1/4 inch gap. So I'm going to fix that. I'll show you how to do that here later on, but I'll have to flip the trailer over to do that. So I'm going to wait till I have the Timbrens mounted, get all the other cross members installed back here before I go ahead and flip the trailer, because I still have all the welds on the underside that I need to do. So I'm going to wait to do all that. Once the trailer's upright, then I'll weld all that, and then I'll fix this bow in the frame. A lot of people don't really talk about it, But it's really easy, if you're not careful, to put too much heat in one area and cause something like this to happen. But it is fixable without having to really cut apart your whole trailer. So I will attempt to fix it. No promises I can, but I have an idea that I've done in the past. I used to be a welder for a trucking company working on big semi trailers, and I've straightened frames on those, so I don't know why I couldn't straighten this one. So other than that, I just need to get these Timbrens figured out where I'm going to place them. Super stoked, super excited. They look heavy duty. The only complaint I would have, and this would be the Timbren, is when you're assembling these and welding them together, use an anti-splatter. That way when you're done, before you paint it, all this weld splatter comes off. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on camera that good, but these things are covered in weld splatter. And I mean, I can clean it up if I wanted to, but then I'd have to repaint the whole thing, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave it. But it would just be for what you pay. I mean, I paid out of pocket for this, and I'll be honest, this setup here, the 4-inch lift, 3,500 pound heavy duty, after tax everything, cost me 1,300 bucks. So for that kind of money, you'd think there'd be a little bit better finish to it, and that you wouldn't just leave all this weld splatter there. I mean, a guy can pick up, you know, a leaf sprung axle for, you know, 300, 400 bucks new. If you're going to spend 1,300 just on this without even hubs, you would think you'd get a better finish to it. But other than that, I mean, they did a really good job. It looks to be really well built, heavy duty. So that'd be my only complaint so far. We'll see how easy they are to install. The only concern I have really with the install is just aligning it using those shims to make sure I got a good alignment and I don't wear out my tires or the trailer don't track funny. So I'm going to take a million measurements, I think, when I go to do that, just to make sure everything's lined up properly. So alright, I got the Timbrens placed where I want them. I'm starting to bolt them in using 5/8 grade 8 hardware. For drilling out the holes, I'm center punching them, and I believe this is like a 5/32 bit, maybe 3/8, somewhere around there. So I'll get this hole drilled out first, and then what I'm using to basically ream it out to the size I need is, I purchased these up on Amazon. It's called a construction reamer, 5/8, and they're actually pretty slick. So if you've never seen one, this is what they look like. So it's kind of nice is when I drill through with the normal drill bit, I'll drill through both sides so I get the hole, and then this reamer bit will actually ream it out exactly and help align it with this hole that comes in the Timbren. And then once I got this reamed out all the way, I'll go through the other side and run it through and ream it out the rest of the way, and then these bolts fit in nice and tight. So I'll see if I can get a video of it, of using the reamer. I'll have to try to do it one-handed, but give me 1 second here, let me get this hole drilled, and then I'll give it a shot. I'm also using this Tap Magic Pro Tap cutting fluid for drilling the holes. It works really well. Keeps your drill bits cool so you're not burning them out. Alright, this side's bolted in. So now I'll go over, bolting that side, and then I think I'll call it a night. I think tomorrow I'll start laying out the cross members to go in between to help support it, and then figure out the placement of all the rest of the cross members in the bed section. So yep, that's it for the night after I bolt that one in, and I will see you tomorrow. Alright, I got this all set up here, how I'm going to do it. Got the cross member in front of it and behind it to help support the axle with suspension. And then what I'll do is right in here, I'm going to weld a steel plate in between the two cross members and attach it also to the outer frame rail, so I can use these 3 mounting holes. So as of right now, I got these cut, fit up, tacked, and once I get these welded in, I'll take the Timbrens off, get my plate made, get that tacked in, and have to put the Timbrens back on to drill the holes, and then take them back off so I can weld them in. So I'm going to keep going. Alright, I'm going to start on making the plates that I'll weld in between these two cross members, so I can bolt down through them using these 3 mounting points. So I got to make 2 plates. They're going to be about, I think, 14.5 long, 5 inches wide, 1/4 inch thick. And I'll get those all cut out here out of some plate, and we'll get them tacked in. Once they're tacked in good, I'll drill out these mounting holes. Then I'll take the Timbrens off so I can fully weld it all in. And then I'll leave the Timbrens off until I get the trailer flipped over and weld the top side. And then back here, these 2 bars going across, these are just going to be to simulate the floor, because I'm going to be putting a water tank here. So if I figured I put these here, I can lay the water tank here, and then build some sort of cage mounting point for it, get that built before I flip the trailer over to weld the top side. And then once I get it flipped over, I obviously got to kind of enclose and support this for the floor. So I'll add more 1x2 throughout the whole floor, just to give the floor of the trailer, when you're in it, more strength to it, so the floor doesn't flex. So I'm going to start cutting these plates out now, and as soon as I get them cut out and tacked in, I'll get back to you. Alright, it's starting to get dark out, but I got these plates tacked in. Got my mounting bolts all lined up on both sides. So I'll go ahead and unbolt these and start welding these plates in, and then I'll work on the water tank next.